Hey guys, how you going? So I'm just going to start this video off by pretty much apologising for the audio quality. Sometimes the new microphone that I got that just goes on my t-shirt, sometimes it was picking up audio really well, and you'll be able to tell in some of the videos that it's picking it up well. It does well to drown out the tanks in the background. Other times it was just reverting to the iPhone microphone and whatnot. So I do apologise for that. I'm going to invest in some better audio gear for future videos. But pretty much this video came about because I reached out to Roxy Aquarium after the National Aquascaping Championship. And they asked me to do a tank. Ended up doing a 5-foot tank for them. That'll be explained in the video. But there will be a couple of future videos where I'm actually going to do two 60cm scapes for them that I am going to enter into the Chihiros Aquascaping Championship. Applications end later in the year, so there will be a couple more videos coming out of Roxy Aquarium in Somerton. They are great. They provided everything. Can't fault them. One of the best aquarium shops that I've been to. So we'll jump into the video, but yeah, just wanted to start off with a little apology for the audio quality and whatnot. Alright guys, how you going? Here we are today at Roxy Aquarium in Somerton. We're going to be doing a beautiful 5-foot aquascape today, semi-Brazilian style. Use of a lot of stone, beautiful carpeting plants, red plants and whatnot. So let's go jump inside. Alright guys, so this is the tank that we're going to do. So it's a 5-foot tank, 150 centimetres, so around about that 5 foot. So essentially we're going to have nice big Sirius stone in there. Going to use a fair few bags of aqua soil and whatnot, but we will go from there. So what I'm going to use here is just the API root tabs in those really heavy planted zones that are going to be sort of around here and around this side with the stems. Just give them that extra boost to begin with, sort of keeps the scape lasting longer and all of that jazz. Dimax aqua soil in there, so that'll pull out any, let me jump down here, hang on. So that will pull out any nutrients in the water. The aqua soil will sort of absorb that, and that will help feed the plants as well. Aqua soil generally isn't that high in all of your fertilizers and all that. It's different if you're going for like Amazonia, something like that. But generally what aqua soil does is a clay-based sort of thing that will pull the nutrients out of the water. It sort of helps keep the water column clean as well. And because of the way that it's made, it sort of filters too. So generally what I do is I'll chuck some root tabs down, sort of crush them up before I put that next layer of aqua soil on. So when those stems are planted, they've got access to nutrients straight away. Just going to put a little bit of neo soil in as well. So what I'll do from here is I'll just sort of spring that back a little bit, make sure that's all good. We'll cap it off with another layer of the Dimax soil. So those root tabs, you know, they're not going to come anywhere near the water column. As soon as they come near the water column, that's when they'll start to sort of wreak havoc sort of thing. You know, they'll just be uncapped nutrients in the water column. Really easy way to get algae blooms and whatnot. So it's important to cap those things off. I think sometimes using a couple of different soils. Some plants really like some soils, some plants like other ones. So if you can get a good balance of different bits and pieces, I know that some people go with a layer of organic compost, something like that under the tank, under the substrate. I generally don't do that. I've had tanks in the past really have bad algae blooms. That's probably more my fault, more than the aquatic compost or anything like that. But this here, it just creates a bit extra, nutrients and whatnot. Also, never waste any of it. It's not exactly cheap stuff. Get as much out of it as you can. Something that I learnt as well from doing this is a lot of people try and build up the back of the tank and have things that are constantly falling down. But I found through watching videos on like Green Aqua, things like that, that if you actually put everything in the front of the tank and then push it back, it's actually easier to work with. Just as I say that, you'll watch this little time lapse now of this next bit, and I'll be mucking around with it for ages. Sometimes another thing as well is don't try and make the soil do things that it doesn't want to do. So I'm just sort of, with the tool just feathering it back, and it just ends up staying where it wants to stay. If you try and build something up too high, you're going to have soil fall down, and then you may be able to make it work in the short term, but eventually soil's going to start falling down on top of the sand, and then you've got aqua soil sitting on top of sand, which is never a great look. I mean, I've got tanks at home that have it happen because you try and do weird and wonderful things, but generally, let the soil do what it wants to do and make it work for you. If you're noticing that plants are starting to get a little bit limp, the good thing about the root tabs or any sort of fertilizer is that you can, in the tablet form, just use your tweezers, stick them down in where those plants are a bit limp, and all of a sudden they've got nutrients again. So it's nothing too crazy, don't worry about, plants have started, to droop, tank's done, redo it. No, you can keep it going. So just wet it down a little bit, not for planting or anything like that like you normally would, just to sort of help stop any soil from moving, anything like that. Just helps, because obviously it's a clay-based soil, so just help it stay there while I'm trying to start to put putting the rocks out and all of that. Alright, so what I'm doing just now, just come down to their warehouse that's not actually at their shop, where we have a whole bunch of tanks, whole bunch of stock, more tanks than I've ever seen in my life. So we're just coming down, sort of picking out some stones, Sirius stone for the scape. So we'll just go through, pick some bigger ones, also go through and pick some smaller stuff to sort of bring the whole scape together. So what I'm just doing here off camera, I'm just gluing a couple of the rocks together. I don't really have space to show myself doing it, unfortunately. But yes, I'm just going to put them together and then start to place them using the super glue and the Dymax Composeal in grey, so it sort of matches the stone. And there'll be some like carpeting plants and that put in there anyway to sort of droop down over the rocks. don't tell anyone I might be cheating with a little bit of dragonstone in the back because it's a nice little wet piece. You know, sort of stands up nice and big, but when you come around the back you've got plenty of room to plant, just as that blue is curing, but you've got plenty of room to plant in there. Put something in here as well, just to sort of soften it so it doesn't look so man-made. Oop, maybe this almost. Hopefully nothing will happen. Oh, good. Sorry. So what I'm going to do now is just start putting some of the soil in. Sorry, not soil. Just start putting some of the sand in the front, building it up. I'll bring a bit of it sort of up to here, but other than that, it's not going to go too far up. I'm going to really heavily plant. Food time. I haven't had a Fanta in ages. Oh, we got burger with a rock. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. So what I really think is really important is to get as much detail around that rock as possible. You want it to blend in. You don't want these two big boulders, you know, just coming out of sand with some plants around them. If you blend it nicely, have those rocks come out, that gravel and all of that in there nicely, blending, it just creates just such a more 3D scape. You know, you can really feel that, you know, taking you to the vanishing point.
that one on your side?
So here are some of the plants that we're going to be using. So we got a whole heap of Monte Carlo carpeting plants, Rotala, Mini, whole heap in there, plus everything that's floating here. Got some long hair grass sort of stuff, a whole bunch of stuff in there for us. So I'm really looking forward to getting these in. So you've sort of got your Rotala and all of that will be in the background. I'm tipping, looking at the leaves that are starting to come out, that's going to be my green Rotala. Just looking at the leaf structure of it that's coming out now, so that's probably going to take a while to sort of pop up. Yeah, so we got our Liliopsis, Monte Carlo, Anubias, I can never say it properly, Alteretereterica Mini, whatever it is. And then yeah, whole heap of Rotala up in here. You can see, so whole heap of Rotala up in there. Some more sort of Liliopsis, hair grass. So we're going to be using a whole heap of that. Possibly a few other little bits and pieces. Should be enough. Monte Carlo, that looks of it. If not, I know that they do have some HC. Alright guys, sorry a little bit about the reflection that you can see sort of down there. That's from some of the tanks that are down here. But so we've come back day 2. So obviously we've done the hardscape yesterday. We're going to start, well, not start doing the planting, we're going to finish the planting today. I've got no other choice, I've got kids to pick up. So we'll start off with sort of our carpeting plants, our foreground, mid-ground plants, and then the last thing that will go sort of in the background will be our Rotala green, Rotala blood red, Hra. So we'll just be starting off with some sort of long hair grass. Got some Liliopsis that they've pulled out of another tank for me. We've also got Liliopsis novazelandi, and obviously, as always, Monte Carlo. So what we'll do is we'll sort of set up now, start planting them. The Monte Carlo is going to be sort of right at the foreground. We'll get some of the Liliopsis, hair grass and all of that in around, and yeah, we'll go from there.